life and it seems I'm in deep trouble. When trials I see, feels wrong.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth, the mother of all current affairs program and Pan-Africanism. My name is Nana Osagyefo, right in the place to be. We're going to be looking at issues pertaining the diaspora and, of course, focus on the motherland. Of course, where we're going to be titrating about trending issues, things that has been happening for the betterment of our people back home. I have with me my learned colleague who is an accountant by profession. He just returned from the motherland. So let's go and welcome him. Hello, Honorable. Welcome back to London, your own shall I say residence and abode? Yes, country of residence, and welcome.
Thank you.
How was the trip?
Very well.
Well, when you say very well, was there enough of the local fufu and the local drinks and all that? That's why you say very well?
Well, the weather was very good. It remained stable for the period I was there.
So how was it like having all this sunny atmosphere and you decided to come back to the cold where we will all have loved to run back to Africa? Why did you come back?
Well, unfortunately, my dilemma is not just my dilemma. As all people in the diaspora wish to go home one day. And therefore, at certain stages, do go home to see how things are progressing rather than to hear. So it's a mix of everything, especially having, been detached from home, that's Ghana, for such a long time. You know, if you see my white hair, it doesn't, you don't need to know that, one has actually been long in this country or in life. And most of it was spent in this adulthood. And therefore, we feel it's better to allow people to hear what our experiences are, and perhaps it will help to make Ghana a better place.
I think that's a very good point, really, because as a young man coming to live abroad all this while, and not just all this while, but making a lot of money as well. Or you don't want me to mention that? You want me to hide that one?
Well, I don't know where you got that information.
All right. Okay, so my fervent listeners and of course audiences worldwide, I'm speaking to Honorable Osai, because I use the Honorable because he's a chartered accountant. He's worked on the Lawrence. What was that one that where you used to work?
Stephen Lawrence.
He was the financial director for Stephen Lawrence Foundation, and he worked in many capacity in London, United Kingdom, before the government of Ghana also appointed him into governance as one of the district chief executives. So we are talking to a man who is very experienced when it comes to the finance industry, and also when it comes to the charity and the funding areas of charity organizations in the UK. Very experienced with experience in Ghana as well. Yes, so Honorable, before we go to look at the trending issues, looking at the finance of Africa, how can Africa itself wean itself from the control of these Western scavengers who just want to exploit Africa and all that, I'd like to say that what's the aim and objective of you going to Ghana this time around before Christmas? Because you kept a day long.
Well, yes, I kept because elections were coming up,
Okay, so when was the elections? Because for the sake of our
for
audiences,
7th December.
That was 7th December
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
And you've been in Ghana since.
Yes.
Wow, that's a long time. You've done well. And I'm sure the sun, which gives us the natural vitamin D, also did you well as well.
Indeed, certainly. We Black people, or lack of a better description, I would say Black people, but mixed colored people always have the vitamin D deficiency, which means we need something to really correct that. If it's a deficiency, then it's not something that can be operated upon. We've got to work through it. And so we went there, and it appears that we need to do some more work. If you are been here that long, and you're going back. In fact, in years back, everybody will warn you, if you are going to Africa, take a mosquito coil, take this, take this. Now things are working out, and there are no mosquitoes as it was before.
Yes. So this elections thing that got you to go to Ghana, I know you occasionally go, but how was the election, and how did it turn out for you in particular?
Well, the election turned out very, how do I say it? Maybe it's surprising, maybe not surprising, but really a shock to both winners and losers. Because I remember I arrived in Ghana, on the 6th of December, just to participate in that session of the election. And, there were a lot of young people who were really aggrieved, peeved, and angry that they could see opulence, all sections of the community, depending on the party you belong to. And therefore, young people were so hard hit that they also want to go abroad. As you know, it's been changed in this country, where now people can get certain special visas to come. So they say, well, we can't come out. We can't come out because we don't have money. We want to do something. We are blocked all the way.
Yeah.
So there were really serious concerns. At the same time, also, the thing that helped them was this illegal mining. They were into it in a big way. They were being chased out of it. So they say, what can they do? So that's that part of it. There's also that part of it that people are thinking, well, we've been here 4 years, we're going, so let's try and see if we can stack things up. So you get some people, in fact, or some of the high-ups, even hiding physical cash in a barrel. I hope that people know what that barrel is. In fact, if you live in Ghana.
In the barrel, let's reference it as the drum.
Drum, yeah.
Yes, because over in the diaspora, people use drums to ship things abroad. Yeah. So, yeah.
So it was difficult because the young people were feeling frustrated, and when someone is frustrated, you don't know when it's going to explode. So we were all on tenterhooks. But thank God, Ghanaians saw through what was going on and decided that this time round they will change the president, or the winner, and they will vote for a winning team.
Yes.
And so that was how. But luckily enough for us, the results were so decisive, for want of a word, so decisive that by 3 a.m. The result had been declared, and His Excellency Muniba Muya had raised his hands up to say No, he's given. He knows that he can't. It's an overwhelming decision, and therefore it's better not to continue, but to pull out and proceed in the right direction.
Okay, that's interesting to know that the election went decisively, and your party won again, obviously, with almost 2/3, which means that the power in the party in government must have performed abysmally, really, because the margin was just overwhelming, unbelievable. All right, so my lovely and noble audiences, I'm speaking to Honorable Emmanuel Osai, finance and accountant by profession, who just returned back from Ghana. And so, personally to you, how did you take the election victory and the overwhelming gap and, the percentage in terms of the 2/3? Were you a bit surprised?
Yes, as I said earlier on, we were all overtaken by the events.
But why were you overtaken by the events if you know that people were complaining, on the grounds, and from your own experience, the election turned out how it turned out? Why should you be surprised then?
Well, we were surprised because the party in government was actually putting out some figures that had been achieved, which we all knew were not correct. Saying, coming on the news, because again, if you are the party of
They
control the media.
Most of the stuff.
So if you look at the interviews that were being conducted by other groups, you find that it's not showing anything directly that you got to really be someone who want to sit back and look at observe carefully. Because some of the problems we had was in relation to people's ability to stay firmly on the ground to make sure that nothing untoward was coming up. As I said earlier on, there were half of the country. There was the opposing and the proposing side. So that's how some were, because we all knew that if there was going to be any change in government at all, the difference between the two parties would not be so prevalent, would not be so wide.
Okay, so great. Let me go and introduce our special guests who have joined us live on the screen from other parts of the world or globe. Let me first of all go to speak to our very good friend, Eugene. Eugene, how are you?
I'm well, Osagyefo. How are you too?
Oh, not too bad. And thank you for joining us. Let me go straight and also welcome. Is it Dr. Lawrence Akwete?
Yes, hello, hi, everybody.
Yes, hi, doctor, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Not too bad. Good. And of course, I'm here in the studio with your own very good friend, chartered accountant and former DCE, in the person of Honorable Emmanuel Osai, and he says hello to you.
Hi, Osai, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. It's a long time, yes?
Very long time, very, very long time.
Yes. I thought that I was going to see you.
Say again?
I said I thought I was going to see you during the last meet that we're trying to clear this non-performing party out of government.
The last meeting?
I said I was hoping to meet you.
Yes.
Yeah, what he was saying, Osai just came back from Ghana since December, and he was there during the election. And he's saying that he thought he could have seen you in Ghana.
I was there in January.
Okay. Okay. I see. He was there in January.
No, okay, yeah, I was still there in January.
Okay, but you two never met.
We never. Well, that is shows how busy we were and how hard we were working.
Okay, great. So you two never cross path.
Yes,
No.
yes, very okay.
Okay.
No, because you see, this we were concentrating on constituency, because you can win the votes when you are there, and you can testify it when you. So most of us, I think those of us who went from abroad went to their local constituencies and their local work to actually help. So that was so Accra. I don't know how Accra was managed, I must say, but that is how it was. So you might go in the same bus with your colleagues, and when you get to Accra, everybody, is gone is in the different direction.
Yes. So, Doctor,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us once again, and let's go straight and look at the main issues that we'll be discussing. Let's go straight and look at the government elected won overwhelmingly with almost 2/3 of the votes, and therefore some people like to refer to the minority as the micro minority. Some would like to refer to them as the miserable minority. So whichever minority it was a devastating blow to the ex-government that lost power. Now, this current government have got a mandate of the people with an overwhelming majority. They've been in power for 4 months. We know that previously when they were in power, they left the cedi at about a cedi to $4. Within the last 8 years, the cedi has climbed overwhelmingly to about a cedi to how much was it? 16 or $17. Yeah, I'm hovering around that figure. Now, the new government led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the Finance Minister Atu Hussein, and then the Bank of Ghana, who is also has been ushered in Johnson Siama, have managed to get the dollar to be appreciating, and a lot of people are so happy, applauding the new government for getting the cedi to be appreciating instead of depreciating. And so, Honorable, can you give us what do you think were the fundamentals to be actually getting this now, where that is going to affect a lot of lives, is going to affect the purchasing power, especially those exporting, those importing, probably the price of commodities and stuff and all that. If you can give us a gist, since you are a lecturer as well when it comes to finance and economics. Dr. Akwete.
Thank you so much, Osagyefo. Actually, I would have liked if you had one of the NPP speakers to be in your studio today, so that we grill them well. Because I overheard and I read on some of the social media the nonsense they were peddling, saying, "Oh, the cedi is appreciating because of Trump's treasury bill operations from the USA towards the world." That is absolute nonsense. The reason why the Ghana cedi at the moment is appreciating so creditably is that is because of Ghana's strong foreign exchange operations. Foreign exchange, not foreign exchange per se, but the operations of the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana in the external market. The external sector has been so strong in favor of Ghana. I'll go into the minute details in a minute. But generally, before I continue, let me just stop there saying that it's because the external sector has been so strong, and that have all been due to the performances of Ghana's Ministry of Finance, Ghana's exchange rate, Ghana's macroeconomic indicator performances, and of course, the excellent performances of the new director, Mr. Asiama, at the Bank of Ghana. I have the details, but let me give the floor to my brother Osai to come in before I give you the details.
Okay, Honorable Sign, what do you make out of these overwhelming successes that have been scored by the government just within 4 months? And we also what happened with the 8 years performance of the previous government, with a lot of the foreign exchange issues affecting many a million. Importers were complaining, price of items and commodities were just changing every now and then, and all that. So if you can give a gist about what you think has caused this interesting and dramatic appreciation of the city.
Thank you. Well, the city has appreciated because of the way the government is running the whole economy. It's not just the exchange rate here, but the whole economy. You can see some level of sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
Yes, so
Sorry.
Our honorable need to have a little drink because he's just so excited. Excited of the performance of the current government, indeed. Yes, go on. Honorable.
Yes, so there's the discipline is coming into acceptance of or the appreciation of World Bank.
Yes.
Of the way the government is running government's business means that it gives people outside confidence in the government, because there can never be any economic success if there is no discipline.
Right.
Also, we have made sure that people who are supposed to do A, B, C, D are actually doing it, like the governor of Bank of Ghana, for instance, Mr. Dr. Asiama, is doing so well that his input.
Yeah.
Plus, now the government has also initiated a 10-member committee to look over the finances, so financial management, as well as making sure that there are no frivolous expenditure. So for that, those are some of the things that we are looking at. And I don't know how this NPP can claim that whatever is happening is because of what they have done or what they didn't do. What the president is doing is keeping his head down, steadfastly going through the tracks of making sure that what is said is done. I mean, today, over the weekend, some of you heard about how some people who have failed even to file their asset and are all being called to account. And I think that this gives the whole world, the mark that they want to give to Ghana, because they think they can do business with. And not do business.
Yeah, let me go straight and welcome our reporter. That is in the person of Godfrey. Godfrey, yes, I can see you clearly. How are you doing, Godfrey? Welcome, and thank you for joining us, Godfrey.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And how is the shores of Accra, Ghana doing at the moment? Is it raining or you have the sun?
At the moment, I can say everything here is cool, normal, as usual, Accra in Ghana is one of the most peaceful country you can ever have in this world. So Ghana is peaceful.
Absolutely.
We are doing our normal.
Yeah. Okay, Godfrey.
We are doing our normal routine.
Yeah, Godfrey, quickly, I've got Eugene is with us, and we have Dr. Lawrence Akwete also with us, and then we've got Honorable Osai, who just came back from Ghana. He's been in Ghana since December And so it's interesting, show that.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are our guests for this show. So, Godfrey, before we continue, give us a gist about the reportage, since you're a journalist and a reporter, about the current Ghana city appreciation and what do you think about it briefly?
Oh, okay, Nana. I'll just give you only what is happening this week. This week is 120 days of the president. That's this week. The president of the republic had this 120 days, and a lot of activities. Uh, he has launched a lot of activities. So, Nana, when you come here, it has been a normal thing. One of the stories that we can talk about is Buedu Ahin, and we all know that he has issues with the Ghana Police Service in connection with causing financial loss to the state, and he's still in the police custody, assisting the Yoko to come up with the proper investigation of his case. So, Nana, things are normal. When you go to the northern part of the country, that we're just having some small disturbances, and the police were deployed over there to maintain and call for peace. The Bali area, that's what I'm just talking about. So when you come to Ghana, I can say Ghana is very peaceful, and I know my dad will bear witness of what I'm saying. We are just having our normal.
Right. So let's look at the issue of the Edu briefly, and then we look at the city appreciation. So causing financial loss to the state with the Edu case, where one person is alleged to have amassed so much wealth from the state and have been able to buy almost 27 or 37 properties, within a space of 4 years, and all that is going on. What are you, particularly as a reporter from the other side, think about that?
Yeah, Nana, Edubuahe, I can say after he was arrested, he was not talking. The talking was being done by his lawyer. That's lawyer Atachia. But this week the man has spoken, and what he is saying that half of the money was used to pay parliamentary select committee on defense. So he doesn't understand why the country is on his case that he has caused financial loss to the state, because he used half of the money to pay allowances on this parliamentary select committee on defense. So Nana, I can say the man has come out and say what he also knows about causing financial loss to the state.
I'm only interjecting with you. I'm not cutting you. Interjecting to make sure our audiences worldwide also understand what is going on. He also said, if I'm not wrong, you can correct me, that he also gave money to the opposition party that has now also won power. That was opposition party as well.
That's the NDC then.
So, can you really enlighten us a bit about that?
Nana, you see, when it comes to this, as I said, he has started talking for the past 1 month to 2 months. He has been in the police custody and going back and forth on this about his case on court and those kind of things. So when it comes like this, these people, that's why I said these people, they always try to find their ways and means, because when you give them this position and opportunity to serve the country, they always try to have the same bed with both political parties, so that when change of government happens like that, he find wanted. So I'm not surprised he's just saying that kind of thing, but I don't
Okay,
think
let's
maybe.
go straight to the appreciation of the city briefly, and then we can go to Dr. Lawrence and Mr. Eugene. Yes, the appreciation of the city quickly.
Nana, I can say now, for the past 2 months, the city is stable. Is remained the dollar is around 13 cedis plus. Then the euros is around 15 to 16 cedis plus, and then the pounds is around 19 to 20. Nana, the finance minister, Kessler Atoforsen, has spoken the reason why the dollar and the city is just gaining so much grounds on the foreign against the foreign currency. But the opposition is still not happy with what is happening, because they believe government is not spending. So when government is not spending like that, the dollars start to gain its grounds. But when government starts spending, that is when the dollar will start depreciation and causing this kind of things. But the traders unions also, applaud the government for at least for now, making the dollar being stable for the past 2 months. So Nana, when it comes to the dollar issue, I think people are, but we are yet to feel it as a normal, as an individual, because the fuel is still not reduced, and other transportation and other issues. But we are hoping that the fuel will also reduce, and then those who are using this fuel and other stuff can also get benefit out of the reduction of the
Okay,
fuel. And
let me briefly go to Eugene and come to Doctor Eugene. Eugene, are you there? Oh, there. It seems I've lost Eugene. Okay, we wait to get Eugene back.
Yes,
Eugene, are
Osagyefo.
you there? Okay, let me go straight to Dr.
Osagyefo, I'm here,
Kwesi.
please.
Oh, sorry, Eugene is there. I lost you a bit, Eugene. Eugene.
I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
Eugene.
here.
What do you make out of the
Yes, I'm here,
appreciation of
Osagyefo.
the CD as against the dollar? Eugene, go on, briefly.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, Osagyefo, I'm here. Okay,
Can you
so
hear me?
currently everything with regards to the economy of Ghana is beginning to change.
Yes.
With significant effects of the dollar reduction. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Osagyefo.
Okay, go on.
Yes, so there's been a reduction of the core value of the USD as against the CD and other currency pairs. And there's been a significant drop of petrol. Like fuel I used to buy for almost 600 CDs. Just today I bought it for about 490 CDs. So the
Really?
reduction is ongoing. So I would like to applaud the current government for what they are doing. Yes, I would like to applaud the current government for what they are doing. And if they continue this direction, the trade union and other institutions that do international transactions would also be at ease as compared to the bad performance of the previous government of the NPP. Yes.
All right. So why is still the opposition trying to take the government on and not appreciating what the government is doing? Eugene.
Osagyefo is pure propaganda. It's pure propaganda. They wouldn't accept or attest to the fact that in the past 8 years, before they came to government, the handing over that they gave them with the city being at 2 cities, 50 pesos or so, things are going to look like they are going backward to the depreciation of the USD and the appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi. So it's propaganda. It's pure propaganda, uncle. Nothing more, nothing
Okay,
less. Osagyefo.
right.
That is what I was going to say.
Dr. Kwete,
Yes,
yes. Can you break it down for us, Dr. Kwete?
I'll break it down into small pieces for you. Just listen. Thank you, my brothers, Eugene and other gentlemen who actually gave an outline. But here are the nitty gritties. Now, the number one, why is the city doing so well, appreciating? The number one reason is that both the internal market and the external market are resetting. You know, President Mahama came and said he was resetting Ghana. Not only Ghana, but the financial institutions, the financial atmosphere, everything in Ghana is being reset. For example, the reserve accumulation in Ghana has gone up. Number one, reserve accumulation. Number two, the IMF have raised the seal of approval of the operation of Ghana's economic policies. The IMF has approved with a high level of satisfaction the economic policies of the government of Ghana, both internally and externally. And this has begun to restore macroeconomic stability in the country. So that is having a positive effect, sending a positive message to the external sector that controls or influences Ghana's economy or Ghana's fiscal discipline. Now, let's go back into it. Why is the IMF so confident? The IMF is confident that Ghana will meet its target. What is the target? You know, soon after, recently, the finance minister was in a meeting with the IMF, and the Ghana promised that they will service their debts step by step. They will continue paying the debt back without earning more debt. And that has given the IMF a great sense of appreciation for Ghana's efforts. Okay? And the IMF is so confident that Ghana will reach its objectives by actually servicing these debts without incurring more debts. Now, the IMF also said that the Ghana's objectives are achievable. Once the IMF is giving us credit, it is giving us a tick, and these things are clandestinely or openly having effect on the value of our cities. Now, let's continue. Continued implementation of the IMF references. They have not gone at loggerheads with the IMF. They agreed with what IMF said, and they are meticulously going one by one, much to the appreciation of the IMF. And so long as the IMF has your backing and actually appreciates what you are doing, it reflects positively on the currency of your country or generally on the physical operations of your country, both internally and externally. Okay?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
the government of Ghana at the moment have been financing its domestic market itself. It has, like I said earlier, it has stopped borrowing money to come and finance domestic debts. Ghana's government under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is trying or has tried, continues to try to pay its own debt internally without going to borrow money to pay the debt. And that has given a very positive economic what a picture of the country, which is positively reflecting on the value of our cities. Now, the central bank also has tightened the monetary policies in the country. Somebody said there that the government is not spending a lot of money, and it has to spend a lot of money in order to control the city. Why will government spend a lot of money? You will have to control the money outflow of your country in order to not to fall into further debt. Now, let me go to another point. The gold market. Of late, we have seen that gold has appreciated so much and is earning so much on the London stock market. Okay, that has also helped Ghana in its balance of payments. Okay, Now, you know that recently, I'll come to that in a few minutes, the new Ghana Gold Board have set up parameters on how gold should be bought and how gold should be exported. That alone has given a very positive influence into the operators of the market internally and externally. Okay, that confidence in the gold market set by the young man who is in charge of the Ghana Gold Board is giving us a positive effect on the external market. That's why I said at the beginning that our external what is it sector is so strong, and so many countries are beginning to believe in Ghana. Recently, it was on Bloomberg that the best performing currency 2 weeks ago and this week was the Ghanaian cedi. Why? Because all those financial houses are believing Ghana that Ghana is stepping in the right direction. Okay, and they are being supported by, for example, the remittances that we send here, or from the United States, or from the diaspora into Ghana. They're also contributing positively to influence the appreciation of the city. I've talked about gold inflow already. Even the cocoa production has increased. Unlike what happened in the last 8 years under Akufo-Addo, you know, our cocoa inflows have increased. And that also is giving a positive message to institutions like the World Bank and the IMF. So, and the physical coordination, the discipline that Ghana is exhibiting is giving the external market some very big confidence in the country's economy and finances. And for that matter, they are all highly appreciative of how we are disciplining our financial operations in the country. Okay, I will go on a little bit. Recently the IMF has dismissed warnings that Ghana risks failing to reset its key target. Where did this come from? It was due to the propaganda of the NPP. MPP were saying that the Mahama government will fail to achieve the targets with the IMF. And the IMF came to antagonize that, to give them a big rebuttal saying Ghana is its own way on servicing all the debts that it has with the IMF. And that obviously has a very positive message to the international markets. Let's go on. We have domestic revenue mobilization. Domestic revenue, our earnings internally in Ghana has been augmented so much that it is able to finance some of the commitments that the government has done. For example, this week, it was announced that tertiary students in Ghana will not pay what is fees when they go to university, and the student grant loan. They've all been covered, and money was appropriated for them. The government didn't go out to go and borrow money to come and service that tertiary students' commitment when they go to university first year. So all these things are giving us confidence, a lot of confidence vibes outside the country, so that most countries are saying, oh, this is a country we can do business with. And as soon as we continue, as long as we continue getting those positive vibes, our city, of course, will continue to appreciate. But this is a word of caution. Like the governor of the Bank of Ghana rightly said, we cannot peg the value of the cedi at one spot and stabilize it at one spot. Of course, it will go, it will fluctuate, it will go up, it will go down, it will go up. Why? We don't want it to go too strong also. Otherwise, it will have adverse effects on our exports. When the country's currency becomes too strong, your exports will be too expensive for people to buy, and demand for your exports will go low. Okay, so that is one thing that we have to take cognizance of. Now, another point is government is very effectively controlling the public sector expenditure. and adhering, leading to fiscal consolidation, I want to say. Okay? Public sector expenditure is being very well controlled. That's why I gave an example that this university fees thing government covering, government hasn't gone out to go and borrow money to cover it. They are using their own internal revenue, domestic revenue generation to cover it, which is an excellent thing. Okay, of course, if you on that way, I mean, you don't owe a lot of countries money. You don't owe the IMF. You don't owe the World Bank extra money, and all these fiscal houses will think positively of your future, and that is having a positive effect on the Ghanaian city. So we have fiscal discipline, and then we there will be external shocks. Things will happen in the external market that will want to have adverse effect on your currency or on your financial operations. But this has been well covered by the policies coming out of the Bank of Ghana, coming out of the Ministry of Finance, and all that, so that they are in readiness for that. And for that matter, the CD is protected for now, and it will continue. Like that's what the finance minister, both the finance minister and the governor of the Bank of Ghana said. The stability of the CD that has just come, it has come to stay. It has come to stay. Unlike the 8 years of what we saw in the Akufo-Addo government, the city was running as if it was in the Olympic running race. Okay? So, my brothers and sisters, I have a lot of more to say. In order not to talk too much or exhaust, I have a lot of more. So, I
All right,
just,
Doc, that's an
I
interesting.
can continue. I can continue. For
Yeah,
example,
but let me just interject a bit. So
yes,
this breakdown and what we've seen in the last 8 years.
yes,
Um, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who was
okay,
in charge of the economy when the previous government was in power, said
yes,
that he was going to arrest the CD, handcuff the CD, and put the CD in jail and throw the keys away.
yes,
Why wasn't that possible? And in 4 months, it was possible for this set of Bank of Ghana, Johnson Asedu, and Kesil Atufosin, the finance minister.
yes. Yes, because what is it? The former vice president, Dr. Baumia, was not a master of that subject area. He was only blowing hot air and causing comedy on the stage. Yeah, arrest the city and put it to the ICP. We want, specific things, serious things like this, discipline things like this. Let me give you another stuff. Treasury bill a few times ago, before this new government, there were a lot of problems with the treasury bill. People were not, patronizing the treasury bill again, you know. But what has happened?
People weren't being paid. The treasury bill, there were issues. People were dying
Yes,
because
because
of the financial. Yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah.
had people's pension and we'll come all to all that. But I'm giving this blowback to give Ghanaians or to give your audience and the people in Ghana the excellent work that the Bahamas government is doing. For example, just the last count at the treasury bill, there was 270 bill that came out, which was a huge increase in the purchases of treasury bill. And what does this do? It helps to absorb the liquidity in the system. You know, when you have excess liquidity in the system, you are opening the doors to inflation in your country or in your economy. But the more patriotism that you get from treasury bills, and of course, when they are maturing, you pay the people on time, people have confidence in that. It helps you to keep the liquidity flow at a stable position. The treasury bills takes a lot of money out of it. So that is for the exchange rate will continue to appreciate because these things are all being controlled and controlled positively. Now, that's why I said that the external factors are all doing very well. I talked about our traditional exports, I talked about our remittances, and then I talked about the Ghana Gold Board. The Ghana Gold Board now controls how gold is bought and how gold is exported. And that has sent an excellent vibe to the IMF, to the World Bank, even to the what is the London stock, not stock market, the London commodities market. You know, so they said this country is actually going the right direction. And for that matter, within 120 days, you could see that our city is doing very, very. I'll rest it there and let some of my uh,
Yes, yes,
participants comment, and then I'll come. Thank you.
yes. So let me go to Godfrey. Godfrey, this is exciting times for Ghana, and I mean Bloomberg, and the world economies are all applauding Ghana. Why would the opposition tend to take a swipe on the government's achievement within 4 months?
Nana, that's what I said. That the opposition believe now the government has not started spending. So when we are not spending, your reserve, as my senior brother said, your reserve, you have more reserve when it comes to the economic issue. And in fact, as you said earlier on, the Bank of Ghana this week, even in his press conference, said we have more reserve of gold. So it means that the country, we are heading to right direction, and that's what we are all hoping for. This government will perform, and the individuals, as in December 2024, people were in a view of economic hardship, will be the thing of the past. So Nana, I believe, opposition, that's what the opposition believe, the government has not started spending. So when government starts spending, then that we will see whether it's performing or not. So Nana, we are just wait to see what will happen in the days ahead, Nana.
Okay, Doctor, would
Yes.
you want to look at the spending? Is government not spending? And if government starts spending, will the country go back to what it was when the NPP was in power? Is that the difference?
No, it depends upon what you mean by spending. If the government is generating its own internal revenue and is using it on its university students, or is using it for an agriculture venture somewhere in the north, and all the rest, so long as the government doesn't borrow money from an external person or internal person, the economy will be on track. Okay, and that will be that will be very good. It will augur very well for the macroeconomic indicators like inflation, like the exchange rate mechanism. That's what we are seeing in the city, and other things that come in to grow the economy, and that in turn reflects on our balance of trade payments. We always get a trade balance, or it's never we never have a deficit in our balance of trade payments. Now, let me just continue. I want to tell you something on the this. There's something that we call the gross international reserve. Gross international reserve that covers imports for countries. The more it is, the better is it for the country. For example, December 24, the gross international reserve for Ghana was this in just 4 months. Now, the money we have to cover imports could only go for 4 months. Now, in February 2025, during the John Mahama government, it has increased to 4.2 months. It means that we are on the correct road. We are growing economically. We are doing the correct fiscal discipline. And that positively reflects on the city. Okay? That is one thing. Okay? I've talked about treasury bills already. Treasury bills, for example, I told you that within the last purchase, it went from 2.8%, no, 2.8% people to only 2.8% patronage of the treasury bills. In the last count, it went to 18.2%. So it means the confidence in the treasury bills have come, and that will make the rate stable, and it will boost investors' confidence. Investors will have confidence in the country. They will have a confidence in investing in the country, you know. And for example, 18.2 oversubscription of the treasury bills is saying that even Ghanaians are having a confidence in the economy. Now, let me qualify it properly. Even Ghanaians, whether they are NPP or NDC, they are all now having confidence in the Ghanaian economy. Anything that an MPP person will say adverse is just propaganda, like my brother said earlier on. Okay?
Okay, that's a good one. I'm interjecting. Let me go to Honorable Osei, and then that's interesting times. The economy, even Bloomberg has come out, as Dr. Akwete has just said. So the people of Ghana needs to have confidence in the current Bank of Ghana governor and then the finance minister. And are they moving in the right direction, Honorable Osei?
Well, certainly the government is on the right track by all indicators, either economic or physical. And so if government is on the right track, or how did government arrive here? It's a matter of, as I was trying to explain at my earlier submission, that exercising of discipline, either financial, economic, or fiscal, is quite crucial to management of any outfit. And I think that what government is doing and will continue to do is to hold steadfast to the promises it has made with the Ghanaians, to make sure that they are not going to deviate from the issues that touches their well-being. Earlier on, I think someone was saying about how in certain countries, for instance, you eat chicken once a day. If you look at the initial steps that the government have taken, it's really to do with the rearing of poultry and how that sector alone can benefit us. So the government is not waiting and see what happens before it reacts. The government has promised Ghanaians since December the 7th that they are going to do A, B, C, D. The landmarks that they've given us. For instance, in the first couple of days, they said the 100 days, the now 120 days. I think the next one is 180 days. For Ghanaians to see for themselves, the government is serious. The government wants to make sure that everybody feel part and parcel of Ghana. We don't have second class Ghanaians. We are first class. We are all Ghanaians. We all went to vote. We all want to enjoy the goodies that God has given to this country. That look, this is it. You have mineral resources. You have this. You have this. Applied. Unfortunately, over the years, people have not applied it here well. Especially in the last 8 years, we know what has happened, and we know how frustrated everybody. Because I remember this petrol thing. I went to Ghana during the last election. I was in Ghana, not this 1 year ago, and I could just fill my tank for what 1 week, and it would take me through. But when I went back in 6 months, and it was 4 times the price. And because even the way prices go up, it does not run as fast as it did to Ghana. And that's purely because people were pulling money out of the system. The money that was supposed to oil what we need to do to get our economy going was being taken out. So now the president, and for that matter, the regime, the government, is making sure that they are there. Because again, before this election, there were a lot of lies that were peddled. Government is saying that they will now be on the spot. And we hope that the fourth of the economy will also go and make sure, verify this so that it is not a hearsay or a third party reportage, but rather a reportage that encompasses everybody. So that we know that if we say that from Accra to Tema has been extended by 1 mile, I want to be able to see it, and we want everybody to see so that we can compare. Because this government is not taking anything for granted. We all know that by the end, towards the end of the last year, government promised to do so many things. One is to restore the domestic debt, which my good friend has elaborated so much on. All these things are the government is doing. Plus, all the international institutions, we are not taking them for granted. Because if we sometimes when we listen to the MPP government talking, it's talking as if they are the only people who understand economics, and they are the only people who can write. Unfortunately, they say all these things and do the opposite. I mean, we just a week and now, what have we unveiled? How can you tell me that the chief executive of an organization, which is not his, but of all the people in Ghana, to say that I'm putting this money away so that I can use this expenditure to purchase more items for my. What is the finance this thing will be doing if you, a head of securities, found that you can go out and they send bank accounts and buy properties that are in different names, and the answer you gave go to tell us that this party, MPP party, taking us to be fools. But unfortunately, we are much smarter, and we are much more committed to our dear country. Therefore, what they did the last 4 years will not happen. And I promise that John Mama will deliver on our social contract to the people of Ghana.
All right, let me go to Eugene. Eugene, you've been quite a bit. That's interesting. Eugene, can you hear me?
Osagyefo, I can hear you, please.
Yeah, great. So, as a young man and a graduate from the University of Cape Coast, how do you see the situation as compared to the last one now, in terms of confidence, discipline, and is it people are becoming very euphoria, or what is it?
Okay, Uncle Osagyefo, thank you. So, one thing I have noticed about this Honorable John Dramani Mohammed's government is his ability to empower the youth. Currently, one of my mates I study with at UCC is even one of the board of directors at MPA, which usually doesn't happen because, government positions or leadership roles are mostly given to people that feel they are older. But with the demonstration of the previous MPP government, I can say with the full chest that not everybody that is old is wise. Not everyone that is assumed to be wise should be old. A younger person can be very, very intelligent as equal to someone older. Because if we look at the exemplaries from what has happened before in the previous MPP government, and how they misused our funds, and how they made it look as if the political hierarchy is a family line or it's a family business. I would like to applaud His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for what he has done, making the youth know that once you qualify as a youth in terms of education and wisdom, you can be given a position to be held accountable for. And with regards to the economic situation that we are looking at right now, with what is going on with the dollar depreciation and appreciation of the CD, that means our GDP would gradually grow in a positive dimension. So it's so far so good, and we look forward to good things happening and him starting or initiating the 24-hour economy. Thank you.
Wow, that's interesting. Coming from a young man, a very, very young man who just graduated in his 20s, to be, admiring the current performance of the government is just great. So it's bringing optimism and, of course, a good omen to the people of Ghana. Okay, my noble viewers, I'm been speaking to Eugene. Kisiedu, and of course, speaking to Godfrey Asante again, speaking to Honorable Osai, who I am in the studio with, and then our very own lecturer, Dr. Lawrence Akwete. Interesting times await Mother Ghana, and the whole world is looking at Ghana with, a lot of interest. Let me say that let's all round up a minute each so that we can bring the whole show to a close. Once again, you are watching London Speaks on the Voice of London television with a feed to the Voice of London radio as well. You can sometimes also pick us up on TV3 and Fly Media back in the motherland. Okay, so let me start with Godfrey. Godfrey, give us your minute run up quickly.
Nana.
Yes.
Before I go, the other stories that I wanted to let our viewers and listeners to also know. The Ghana Police Service, Nana, has arrested a man with an India hemp, 92 parcel of them. So this man is coming from Akache, that's in the Volta region, and now he's in the grace of the police. And when we are talking about 92 parcel of them, it's not a small amount or small quantity. So that's one good news from the police service. Now another one is I think we are all aware about a disturbing video that was circulating for the past 2 weeks when two ladies were being kidnapped around Nigeria and other stuff. The police force in collaboration with the Nigeria police has also rescued these two ladies and they are back home safe. These are the stories. And this week too, the president also did launch the code of conduct as he just wanted his appointees to be very, very straight and also work and in the duty of his line, because the president believed this code of conduct will just help the political appointees that they normally misbehave and misappropriating of funds and other stuff. The president in the same lunch also urged the public, this is the government public workers to at least did report any misbehavior of any director or any manager in this political. So Nana, as I said, in 2024 election, people were feeling the economic hardship, and they did cast their vote in the right direction. So this is what we are all hoping, that Ghana will just, have this economic strong as we all always believe in. So Nana, these are the stories that I can just say them for now, Nana.
So would you say that
And I just 1 minute. My brother Godfrey, the two girls, were they Ghanaians?
Come again.
The two girls that were kidnapped, were they Ghanaians?
Yeah, they were Ghanaians, so they are
and
back
they were
home.
kidnapped by Nigerians.
Yeah, it was an online romance date. So they just followed this online people, then they found themselves in Nigeria. So they were just come again.
Yes, go on.
So they just found themselves in Nigeria. Then the people just demanding money from their people before they will release. But as I said earlier, in Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with Nigerian Police Force, did a good job to rescue this lady yesterday the DCOP, Linda, that's the Director General for Criminal Investigation Department, did the press conference assuring the people of this country that these two ladies have been rescued, and urging everyone that when you are dealing with people online, you have to be very, very careful, my brother. So this is one of good news that we are all having right now.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, so let's go to Eugene. Eugene, can you give us your 1 minute run up? Eugene? Okay, I think Eugene's network is a bit dodgy. Let's go to Dr. Akwete.
Thank you, Nana Osagyefo. What I want to say is Ghanaians have not seen anything yet. The best is yet to come, and also that the economic future of Ghana is very bright, in my opinion. But before I round up, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing you very clear.
Yeah, there's one thing that I left out in my analysis is the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Hello, Osagyefo.
Exchange. Before that, hitherto, the stock exchange has not been getting a lot of
God, please don't do
capitalization.
this.
Say again.
No, go on, doctor.
Osagyefo, yeah. So what I would like to say is, like I was saying before, I would applaud the current government in power, and
Okay,
they should continue to stabilize
I think he has a problem with
other
the
currency pairs as against the CD, so the CD could appreciate, so that all trade forums with the depreciation of the CD, all trade forums would blossom to bring productivity to the Ghanaian. I would also like to say that
Okay, I think Eugene has a problem with his network. Doctor, let's bear with Eugene. Doctor, let's go on from where you left off.
Yeah. What I was saying is that the stock exchange, people who have excess money, excess liquidity, sometimes
Yeah.
they go to buy stocks. But if there's no confidence in the stock market, they will not invest their money in. But the latest capitalization that I've seen was for the Ghana Stock Exchange was 135 billion, an increase of 24.7%. You know, that has given investors encouragement or confidence so that their monies will be safe. And that alone also reflects positively on the economy of the country. Now, if you think that a stock exchange, okay, is not your thing, you don't want to go in, there are other things that we call the corporate bonds. Corporate bonds that are sold by individual companies. Even that one also has increased from 24 billion to 36 billion overall capitalization. So if you don't want to go to the stock exchange, you can go to these capital bonds, and it takes out the liquidity in the system and brings to forestall an inflationary trend in the country. Okay? And so all these things, plus all that I said on the program, are points of the correct direction, which is leading our CD to a grand trend of stability. So, like the finance minister said, and also echoed by President John Mahama, Ghanaians are just on the right trajectory. It will even get better. So we will be monitoring it, and we'll be reporting to Nana Osagyefo on his one.
Thank you so much, Doc. Let's finally, Honorable Osai, 1 minute.
Thank you. And thank you. What I want to add is really the government is serious. The government is serious to get Ghana working again. For the past, we have wasted 8 years of non-performance, 8 years of bickering, 8 years of infighting, 8 years of name it. We thank God that we have rescued our country, our dear country. And I hope and pray that all of us will see the positive light that is leading us to glory. And therefore, I will say that don't take anything from the first value. Sometimes, these propaganda people, because they never expected that they could be beaten the way they have been subjected to the floor. They can't even get up to their knee level. And so I would like to say that it is very informative to meet like this or to hear being invited to join in the discussions and deliberations, which are quite pertinent to our well-being. May God bless us all.
All right. So thank you so much. That was our finance man himself, Honorable Osai, very experienced accountant indeed, both experience here in the United Kingdom and back home in Ghana. A big thank you to Eugene. Kissy Edu, Eugene, thank you so much. And of course, our young kid on the block. And then Godfrey, thank you so much. And then let me thank Dr. Akwete. Doctor, how are you? Thank you so much, Doctor. So, my noble listeners, and of course, those watching across the whole globe, make sure you always log on to us, our channel, and all our social media handles. Make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe to be enjoying these powerful deliberations from this side of the Atlantic. Once again, my name is Osagyefo, and it's great pleasure. See you on our next program.
Thank you. Bye.